Hey there and welcome to Cars with Nash. And today Nash and I are working on this 2012 Mercedes C350 and we're replacing the power steering pump. So the first thing we're going to do is get this engine cover off. Just like to pull up at those back tabs first and then pull the front up, and here's our power steering pump here. Very accessible. The one little trick is you're going to need a worm clamp, like a new hose clamp for there, because that's a crimped clamp and we're going to have to trim that off with some side cutters. First step we're going to do is take the cap off and extract the old fluid out. We have a fluid extractor. If you don't have one, you could use a turkey baster to do this. But you can also get, like at a livestock supply, you can get big syringes for like a veterinary supply, and use those. You can put a little hose on them and they work pretty good too. Okay, I'm just going to put that in there and Nash just pumps away. It's like a bicycle pump, and there is a screen in here, so I don't think we're going to get 100% of the fluid out. Now as far as symptoms go, it wasn't making like a whining noise or anything like that. It's just kind of feeling notchy at low speeds. And then when we took the belt off, you can see we just did some work on the belt drive. That's good, Nash. I think that's all of it. When we took that belt off, we just spun all the accessories by hand and we felt the pump was rough and kind of notchy. So I just went with this A premium pump off of Amazon. It's a rather cheap one, but actually I already popped it open and it looks like a really quality unit, and it's complete with a new pulley, reservoir and everything. So we'll get the old one pulled off, get this one on, and then we're going to just go with this clean flow synthetic power steering fluid. So Nash is going to remove the drive belt. That's the first step. So you see down there where that shiny pulley is, right where I'm pointing? That is your tensioner. Right below the pulley is the 17mm hex that you use to relieve the tension. So you want a healthy size ratchet. You put it on there and you pull it to the left. So we'll try and show the process best we can. And then once you get it pulled to the left, you'll get up there and just pull the belt off the power steering pulley. That's the easiest pulley to reach anyway. So as you can see, the whole engine moves when he gets on that. That's how strong that tensioner is. So you may need a helping hand to get the belt off if you're not as strong as Nash. So Nash tried to get it off the power steering, but he just couldn't quite get it, so he popped it off the other idler. So we'll have to reroute the belt. Not a bad idea to take a picture of your belt drive with your phone or something before you start, just so you know which way the belt's routed. Okay guys, unfortunately one of the bolts for the power steering pump is located right behind that tensioner pulley, so we just have to remove that tensioner pulley, and that is a T40, a Torx 40. Just make sure you always have your Torx bits fully seated. There we go. So now with that out, we have just enough room to get in there. I believe that's an E12, and we'll remove that E12. And then there's another one. It's just up here. We'll get that belt right out of the way. So there's another one right there. It's kind of hard to show you because the hose is in the way, but just those two. And then there's one fastener on the hard line over here. So he's just going to get both broken loose here. Grab that reservoir and just see if it rattles or not. I want to see if we still got a fastener down below then. Okay guys, so that one on this side, that is just an open hole on the car also, so we don't have to worry about that. We have these two removed already, and so it's going to be something at the back here or the bottom that we're dealing with. We got those bolts loose, no problem, but we found there's that third bolt down there and we have to take the computer out to get at it. So I think we're going to have to unplug this plug, disconnect these couple fasteners here, and these wires look like they all come from that way, so I think we can maybe lift the computer up and just set it back here and gain access down in that corner, because down in behind the pump there at the very bottom there must be a fastener. We're having trouble with this plug. I don't want to break anything, so I think we can avoid taking it off. We'll just get these off, and I've already got these loose, and I'm just trying to get enough slack and everything that we can get the computer out of the way. We are in a hurry, and I'm not going to say anything else. Now we got to try and get this worked up. That worked.
There might be none.
Okay guys, it looks like I got this free. There is a wire clip holding it here, so I'll get that free too. Okay. We found the third fastener. It is a bolt in here. It looks like another E12, and it looks very hard to get to, and it's starting to rain. But we do have a shop, but we thought it was a nice day out when we started. Anyways, we've got the computer out of the way, and I'm not going to be able to show you that bolt, but we'll show you after we get it out what we did, where we accessed it, and what we used. So Nash is on that bolt with that 4-inch extension, and you can see he's turning it down there. So it angles down, so it's really awkward to get onto, but at least you can get a good swing on it. So once you get on it, it's doable. Now, it might be easier if you have a set of 1/4-inch E-sockets, something I need to invest in apparently. I haven't dealt with many E-bolts up till this car, so. Nash says he has it holding by a couple threads, so he can get down there with his fingers and turn it, which is nice. There we go. It's a long one. This is the setup he used on there. So as I understand, a 5-inch was too long, 3-inch was too short, so he has this little short 1-inch extension, 3-inch extension to make 4 inches of extension, and then the E12. Now we just have one top bolt holding it in right now, and then we're going to deal with the lines. So this one down here on the side, that's also an E12, so we're going to get that off right away. Okay, so we've got an E12 wrench. That's the easiest way to get to the line, and you should actually crack it loose before taking the bolts out of the pump, but Nash will just hold the pump while he's breaking it loose. There, he got her loose. So now, even though we sucked out all the fluid out of there, you're going to want to have a drain pan, and you're probably going to want to take the belly pan off your car if you don't want to make a mess down there. We're actually going to just slip something down there to try and catch it, some rags or whatever. Nash is just going to put a bunch of shop towels down there to catch it. And we have our zip tie prepared right here. And make sure your belt's out of the way. I'm talking to you and to them, Nash. So you got that bolt out. Now there's an O-ring that seals this line, so you'll have to give it a little force to get it out. Okay, put your finger over the end.
There's nothing coming out.
Okay. We'll still get it zip tied up. There is something coming out now, bud. Okay. I can hold it if you zip tie through that hole. See, that works. We only spilled a few drops down there that will be able to reach down and dry up, so no big deal. Just careful you don't get it on your pulley, so that'll make your belt slip. Okay guys, you're going to need a really sharp pair of side cutters to get this off, and you're going to want to trim just the raised part there. You want to cut right through that. Okay, we just got the pump loose, and now Nash can get right on that clamp nicely.
Oh, that's split.
Oh, yeah, he got it split actually. Just don't cut yourself. Don't cut yourself on the clamp, guys. It's quite sharp after you cut it, so. Nash is going to get it out of his way so he doesn't cut himself getting the hose off. Now give your hose a twist, and that'll break it loose. Now be ready to get that bolt in there, bud. Okay, 3/8 is a little bit loose in there. You want a bigger bolt than 3/8. Maybe like a 7/16. He's going to thread the hose up through here. That bolt will still keep the the dust out of there, so we'll leave it in there even though it's a loose fit. There's no fluid coming out right now, so we're good. So that hose is just going to chill right there in the corner, and that gives us lots of room to work here. Okay, Nash is just going to slide this up out of here. Okay, so you can pull your coolant hose back. Don't get too rough on it, but you can pull on it a little there. And we're going to clean everything up in there. You can see we lost some fluid down in there, but that's okay. We have lots of room to wipe it up while the pump's out. Okay, Nash has the brand new pump, and he's going to go right in there, and he'll show you. We're going to hold the line back again and watch that other smaller hose. Okay, and then you want to get your top bolt in there to hang it. Okay guys, so the two front bolts are shorter than the back one, and they're both the same length, so it doesn't matter where to go. Just make sure you don't put the back bolt into the front, because that could be bad. And unfortunately that O-ring didn't come with the new pump, so we're going to risk it, because we've discovered before the O-rings are proprietary on a Mercedes. Okay, so Nash is tightening up the front two bolts first. He did get the rear one started, but you don't want to tighten it yet, because you want to have it fully sucked back, because that hole on the back is not that tight on the bolt. It can move on it, so if you tighten that bolt first, it might not be aligned proper. So tighten both front bolts, then you tighten the back bolt. Okay guys, there is a little rubber plug in there. Nash is just going to grab that out, and then we'll be ready to stick the high pressure line back in there. There, I had a little bigger fingernail than Nash. Put your finger over the end as you go down there so you don't lose fluid. Nash has it in. Now he's going to get the bolt going on in there. So we've already got the hose clamp in place on the other hose, just a regular worm gear style clamp. But we're not actually going to put this hose on the car just yet, because we're going to use it to flush the system. So we'll show you that. We're actually going to put the belt back on next when we're done tightening this hose. Okay guys, we're just going to put the computer back. Nash is just going to put some Vaseline on those rubbers there, or on the pins that go into the rubbers, so that they slide in a lot nicer. So be real careful guys that you get all those pins in, because when we pulled this out I noticed it was only in on the top. That's all back to spec. And now Nash is going to get the drive belt on. I know it's getting dark here. We'll let you figure that out, because we really can't show you. Okay guys, well, we are actually doing an outro here because it is starting to pour with rain. But what we're going to do, we're going to fill that new pump with fluid without the return line hooked up, and then we'll run the engine, and we'll pay attention, and we'll shut it down before we get air coming out of the line. But that's how you flush it, and you just keep refilling and pumping it through using the engine. And then when you think you got it all flushed, plug the line back in and top up your fluid, and you should be done. Thanks a lot for watching Cars with Nash. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have yourself a great day. Not like our day out here in the rain and the dark. We've been rained out like 4 times already, so